Did you know a Philippine power giant fought a massive tax battle? How did NPC dodge a huge tax bill from Pampanga? The answer lies in due process. This is the case decided by the Supreme Court entitled National Power Corporation vs. the Province of Pampanga and Pia Magdalena d Quibble, GR number 230648, promulgation date October 6, 2021.
This is the 48th case out of the 160 cases decided by Associate Justice Mario Lopez, chairperson of the 2024 Philippine Bar Examinations. Follow for more.
Facts of the case. In 2009, the National Power Corporation, NPC, a government-owned corporation, received a tax assessment from the Provincial Treasurer of Pampanga, demanding payment of local franchise tax. This action was grounded on the Provincial Tax Code of 1992. The NPC, however, contested the assessment, arguing that following the Electric Power Industry Reform Act, EPIRA law, of 2001, its power generation was no longer considered a public utility operation requiring a franchise. Therefore, NPC claimed it was not subject to a franchise tax under the Local Government Code of 1991. The provincial treasurer did not act on the protest, and NPC appealed to the Regional Trial Court, RTC. The RTC ruled in favor of Pampanga, finding that NPC, as a generation company selling electricity, was liable for franchise tax. NPC appealed to the Court of Tax Appeals, CTA, which partially agreed with the RTC but remanded the case for further proceedings due to lack of clarity on the amount of tax and NPC's activities in Pampanga. The CTA en banc upheld the CTA Second Division's findings. However, it noted that the RTC's decision was based on a summary judgment and remanded the case to determine NPC's activities in Pampanga and the exact tax amount. NPC moved to reconsider the September 9, 2016 decision, but the CTA en banc denied it. NPC then filed a petition with the Supreme Court, reiterating its exemption from franchise tax and arguing the assessment letter violated due process for lacking details as required under Section 195 of the Local Government Code.
Primary issue in the Supreme Court. The primary issue before the Supreme Court was whether the NPC was liable for paying franchise tax to the province of Pampanga.
Decision of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of NPC, finding the assessment void for lack of compliance with due process requirements. The court emphasized that the assessment letter from the provincial treasurer lacked crucial details such as the amount of tax, surcharges, interest, penalties, and the covered period. This deficiency hindered NPC's ability to effectively protest or appeal against the assessment. The court highlighted the importance of adhering to due process in tax assessments and emphasized that taxpayers must be adequately informed of the basis of their tax liabilities. Important doctrines and explanations. (1) Due process in tax assessments. Taxpayers must be informed of the nature and specifics of their tax liabilities. An assessment that lacks essential details like the nature of the tax, the amount due, and the period covered is considered void for violating due process. (2) Void assessments and taxpayer rights. An assessment that fails to meet the legal requirements is deemed void and does not create any obligation on the taxpayer. The rights of taxpayers must be safeguarded against arbitrary and unclear tax claims. (3) Substantial compliance with tax laws. While substantial compliance may be considered in certain scenarios, it is imperative that an assessment provides all necessary information to allow a taxpayer to effectively contest it. Absence of such details can render the assessment void. 4. Procedural requirements in taxation. The procedural aspects in tax assessments, like the issuance of a detailed notice, are not mere formalities but are essential to ensure fairness and adherence to the principles of due process.